This is going to be the first lesson on completing the drawing file for the table lamp, including the assembly, the parts list, balloons, dimensioning, view placement, and title block. So we may not get through it all in one video, but we're going to try to get as much as we can done in a short amount of time. So I'm going to begin by clicking New and selecting English ANSI inch IDW drawing file. So this is going to default to a D-size sheet as we've learned before. We're going to leave this as a D-size sheet because we need a large sheet like this to fit everything into on one page, and we're also going to be sending this to the plotter the same as we've done with the caster project. So before I can begin, I need to also open my table lamp assembly. And here it is. So I'm going to be bringing this in. So I need to open up the assembly before I can insert it into the drawing file. So I'm going to click over to drawing 1. I'm going to click base, and I'm going to bring in my front view of the lamp. Now I don't need two of them. I made a little mistake here. Try this again, and okay. All right, so there we have it. So this is perfect. Now what we should do is also turn on the hidden details. So we'll double click, we'll click hidden line, and we'll hit OK. That's going to reveal all the hidden detail lines for that front view. All right, moving on. We are going to create a right-hand sectional view because this is what was asked for in the rubric that I had showed you earlier. So we're going to go to place views, which we're already at, and we're going to select section. We're going to section right through the middle. So again, a review of this is to run your cursor at the end where you see the green snap, and then come up with your cursor a bit without left clicking, and then left click, come down to a similar spot on the bottom, and left click again, right click, left click, continue, and we're going to pull that sectional view off to the right like this. And this is how this will look. So we're not sectioning through this leg, we are sectioning through this one, through the middle, and we can actually see that leg, how it inserts into the base here. This one here is left just as a simple object view. Detail view, I should say. All right. So that's going to conclude the assembly views. Now we are also going to create a parts list for this in an isometric view in the corner. So we're going to right click, go to create view, projected view, and we're going to bring the lamp up into this corner. Right click, left click, right click, left click, create. We're going to double click it, and we're going to reduce its scale to 3/4, the same as we've done before. Okay, that looks wonderful, just where it is. Okay, next, we're going to add a general dimension for the height. This is all basically a review of what we've done before. In an assembly, we need to have some indication of how tall this is. So I'm going to be running a dimension from the very top of the spindle to the very bottom of the leg. So we're going to be going to annotate. We're going to select general dimension, select here and here, and we're going to pull this dimension off. We're not going to crowd it to the base. We're going to leave ourselves a little bit of distance here like that. 7.75. Now, I don't want to leave this as a decimal value. I want to be able to change this to a fraction. So we can select up here. We can change this to default fraction dimension. And what we can do is double click this and, well, actually not double click it. We're going to right click, select edit dimension style, and we're going to change this to diagonal. We're also going to switch to text, and we're going to add the quotation suffix for that to indicate that fractional imperial unit. Just like this. Okay. So that's how I want to do it. I want to stick to fractions mostly for this. This does not need to be super precise. This is just an overall height dimension. Right? We're going to maintain fractional units where they're needed, and we're going to maintain decimal units where they're needed as well throughout. And we also need to place the balloons onto the assembly as well. So we're going to start with balloon. We're going to select the spindle, and I'm going to try to keep the balloons on the left side, not crowding between the front view and the sectional view. Oh, and we need to create, yes, this needs to reference a bill of material. Right, so this is going to be item 2. And we're just going to do it like this. Right click, left click, right click, left click, continue. And remember, this has to be bent, right? This can't go like this. This needs to be bent horizontally. This is the proper format for ANSI style dimensioning, which we're using. So that looks fine just like that. So we have this identified. We also need to identify the base. Obviously, we only have 3 balloons for this drawing. So next, we're going to select balloon again, and we're going to select the base. It doesn't let me track it, you know. It's too bad. I would love to do that. And this is going to be item 1. So we can track item 1 balloon to number 2. Just like that. And then, you know, what we can do, is we want to make this look nice, right? There's a lot of time spent in making these things look professional. All right. Wonderful. And we have one more, so which is the leg. So balloon. I'll run that balloon from here so it's not interfering with any extension lines. I'm going to try to maintain a similar distance to what I've done with item number 1. And we're going to track that one to here. And again, you got to zoom in on this, and you've got to straighten this out like that. So just get that line perfectly straight. And now we have all the balloons. Now before we leave this assembly view, it requires centerline annotations. Now we don't need one through the spindle because the sectional cutting line, right, is bold and dark. It would supersede the center line that runs through the spindle and right through this leg. So all we have to do is select a center line. We can go from here and up to the drill point, like this. And we don't need it to be what I don't like is I don't like this center line coming off the leg like this. So we can just shrink that in a bit just so we can't see it anyway, and it's hidden by that object line, so we'll just leave it like that. It's just important that the center line extends beyond the radius here and beyond the drill point of the drilled hole in the base. And we're going to do this again. We could try it a different way. We could try a bisector. We'll see what this looks like. And then stretch it up to here. It's hard to get it lined up with this one, though. So I'm going to delete that. I'm just going to do this like I did the other one, just for the sake of consistency. So that's the point coming down to this center mark, create, and then I'm just going to pull that in like this. And that's going to take care of the centerline annotations here. That's all we need. We're not going to add any centerline annotations to the sectional view. We will add one to the leg here because this leg is not being cut through. So we will add one here as well. So we're going to do the same thing again. Center line. And it doesn't like that. So what we'll do is, in this case, we'll do the bisector like that. That's easiest. And we'll just stretch this one down below like this to look about the same as what we have here. Right? Because this isn't being cut through. This is still perfectly round. Right? We normally don't put center lines through a section, through sectional details. Right? Because these are technically no longer cylindrical. Right? They're all semicircles. So we're going to leave this alone. And we're also going to create the parts list. So we're going to have to reference the assembly, hit OK, and then bring this up into the corner like this. Item 1, 2, 3. Item 1 is the base. Item 2 is the spindle. Item 3 is the leg. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. So I'm not, it doesn't have to be like we see on this sheet here. I know it states that number 1 is the spindle, number 2 is the legs, number 3 is the base. I'm not worried about that. All I care about for this project is that this agrees with the assembly balloons, and it 100% will. So it doesn't really matter. As long as it's identical between the two, it doesn't matter. So let's just fix this up a bit. We're going to go into column chooser. We're going to get rid of the part number. We've done this before. We're going to remove it. And then we're going to find material, and we're going to add it. And then it goes item, quantity, material description, not the other way around. So we're going to take material, select move up, and then hit OK. Now, it reads materials generic, but we know that all of this is aluminum. We're going to have to stretch that. Aluminum. All right. So, item 1 is the base. Item 2, in my case, is the spindle. And item 3 is the leg. Apply and OK. Okay, let's look at this. This looks good to me. All right, we're just going to move that up a bit. And take a look at what we have so far. All right, so we've basically fulfilled all of the assembly details for our lamp. And the next lesson we'll pick up and we'll begin to place all the detail views and sectional views around the drawing as required. So until that time, take care. Talk to you soon. Have a lovely day.